expressing yourself is a part of existing. In nature, everything is always fully expressing itself. These trees here will always be trees. They're gonna grow as much as they can, take as much sun as they can, and also bear fruit. That's what trees do. Squirrels will always be squirrels. They'll collect nuts, hibernate, and do whatever it is squirrels do. As human beings, due to our evolution and also the evolution of our culture and social settings, at times we're not always being our authentic selves. Some of it is for good reason. There's parts of humanity which is better that we have it under contained, things like violence and murder, which are unpleasant. At the same time, some conditioning may associate positive parts of being ourselves with the negatives, such as violence. This is why you see people at work and they're generally unhappy because they feel like they can't be themselves. They feel like they have to always put on a mask or a face for the customers or their boss. And due to this, they're generally unhappy in other parts of their lives because work is such a big part of our lives. So is there ever a moment in our lives where we are fully expressing ourselves? In society, we're always told what we can and can't do, how we should do things, when we can do things, what we can do. Do we ever really get to express ourselves? As kids, though, we are always expressing ourselves, even if it's within the confines of society. Kids do whatever the heck they want to. They piss on the floor, poo their pants, dance, laugh, write with Sharpies on the wall. They generally don't have a concern for what other people think or the confines of society. They just are allowed to be their authentic selves all the times. And we allow them to be because they're kids. But as we get older, we tell people that they should know better and they shouldn't do the things that they're doing, even though sometimes it may not actually be that detrimental to the rest of society. So how do we get back to being like a kid, having a sense of ease, and just enjoying our lives and being able to express ourselves? Well, me personally, this is something I've struggled with a lot. Being raised in a culture where it's generally accepted to stifle yourself, put your emotions on the back burner, and repress your feelings and true thoughts about somebody for the greater good of society and societal norms. It's been hard for me growing up to really express myself and be myself, especially around other people. So there are some things that I learned along the way that have made me aware that it's okay to be my true self and that it's actually fun and liberating to be your true self. Growing up, we've always had parts of our lives and times where we're able to really be ourselves. When we're with friends, close friends, or family, we're able to freely express ourselves. Now, before I get into steps that have really helped me to express myself, I just want to tell you the story when I was younger. When I was a teenager, during certain parts of my life, I felt really liberated, especially when I was 14, 15. I didn't really care. I wasn't too concerned what people thought. Not that I was using that in a negative way to say whatever I wanted to or do whatever I wanted to, but really in a way that was positive for me and for other people. Now, during my later years when I was in high school, I thought it would be cool to be the cool kid. At this point in my life, sure, I was more accepted within the social circles that I was in, but there was always a hollowness and an emptiness because I was putting on a front, I was putting on a mask to please the people around me. And as of late, I've really come to realize that it's much better and easier to be yourself. I mean, as cliche as it sounds, and everyone always says it, it is good to be yourself because it takes a lot less energy for you to be yourself than to be someone that you're not. So the first thing that really helped me express myself was to first know myself and then be able to accept myself for who I was. Looking back when I was in the early years of high school, I really knew who I was. I was a nerdy kid who loved to play video games, loved to have fun with his friends. And it really showed in my personality and character. I was more carefree, not too concerned what people thought of me at school. This included my friends and family. I was more free-flowing. I wasn't as tired. I had a lot of energy. And I never really felt like I had to put on masks to please anybody. Moving forward to later on in my high school year, I always felt like I had to live up to being a cool kid. And this is where you start, or at least I started, to lose myself and forget who I really was. So the first step to being your true self is know yourself and just accept it. Because when you're trying to be that cool person or that person everyone likes, you're not really accepting yourself for who you are. You're trying to be someone you're not. And when you're trying to do that, you forget who you really are deep down inside. And it makes it even harder for you to freely express yourself as a human being and as a unique person in this life. Now, the second point to helping to liberate yourself, express yourself, is to be honest. And this ties into the first point and principle. Because if you're not honest with yourself, then it's very hard to tell people who you are. Like I said, when you're trying to put on this facade of being a people pleaser or someone who you think is cool, you're not being honest with yourself. You're trying to be someone you're not. And when you're doing this, it takes a lot of energy. And you can't really be yourself because you're not being yourself. So first, be honest with yourself. There's all these little white lies that we tell other people, and we slowly start telling ourselves because we're telling others. And we start to believe that they're true. They could be little things at first, but then they turn into bigger things. It's like a train's coming. Now, third and probably one of the most important points is to let go of your identity of yourself and stop trying to control people's opinions of your identity. For instance, when I was trying to be a cool kid, I had to constantly get feedback from other people and try to control their opinion to make sure that I was a cool kid. I would do things that maybe I wouldn't normally do to prove to others and make them think that I was a cool kid. And to be honest, that's really not cool at all. That's fucking lame, to be honest. So just let go of who you think you really are, because when you're able to let go of the exterior things that you think are what really make you, like being cool, never being wrong, you're allowing yourself to be a kid again. You're allowing yourself to make those mistakes, be silly, and really that just means having more fun with yourself as well. So stop trying to control yourself, first of all, by letting go of your identity, and stop trying to control other people's opinions of you. Really, other people's opinions of you don't matter that much. What matters more is you being yourself, you being authentic, and you living your life to the fullest. You're gonna have people who love that about you. You're also gonna have people that hate it. And that's not something you can control, and that's not something for you to decide. Do you want other people to tell you how to think and act? You wouldn't want other people to do it to you, so why should you be trying to do that to other people by trying to always leave certain impressions of yourselves on them? And while letting go of your opinions of others may bring people closer, inevitably you'll also push people away. But honestly, it's better that way. If you were just putting on a front and they were just attracted to that front of you, that illusion of you, then they shouldn't have been with you or been around you as a friend in the first place. And you should probably not be with them. It's better for you to be authentic and be around the people that you should be around and want to be around, and for other people to be around the real you. That'll build a more fulfilling life and relationship, whether it's work, personal, or business, family and friends, than you trying to create an illusion of yourself that you're trying to make other people approve of, and you're trying to make other people validate for you. So what are the practical action steps to applying these principles in your life? For the first principle of knowing yourself, actually get to know yourself. And this is an ongoing thing that you're going to have to be doing throughout your life. It's not going to be something you can do in one sitting, but it definitely helps if you sit down, think about who you are, where you've been, and what you really want out of your life. And to discover what are your core values, what do you stand for, and what do you want to see done with your life in this world. For the second part of being honest with yourself, start by being honest about the small things. If you don't like something, tell people you don't like it. If you like something, even if you think it's stupid, tell them you like it. If you don't know something, just say you don't know. A lot of times we pretend like we know what people are talking about, but in reality we have no clue. And not only is it unengaging for the other person who's talking to you, it's unengaging for you too. You're not learning anything. So if someone doesn't, if you don't know anything about a subject someone's asking you, just ask them or tell them, hey, I don't know what you're talking about. Just can you explain further? And for the third part of letting go of your identity and letting go of other people's opinion of you, this is something that's going to take a lot of time. And no one's perfect. I'm still working on this. We're conditioned to want to please other people, and it's good to please other people. You shouldn't use the third principle as a way to like bully people or just be negative towards them. There's tactful ways to be to let go of other people's opinions of you and to be honest as well. But really, for the third one, just realize that you're enough. You, as a special person, you don't have to be a cool kid or super smart or even super strong. You can just be yourself and people will accept you for that. People are pretty nice and friendly to their core. We all want to make friends. We all want to live a happy life. You don't really have to put on fronts or be this magnificent person for people to love you or for you to love other people either. You can just be yourself. And by using those 3 practical steps, you'll find that it's just a lot easier to live life. Have you ever been to one of those parties or social settings where you don't really know anybody? So you don't know like what jokes to tell them, what to talk about with them. Just feel awkward all the time. Well, when you're not expressing yourself fully, that's how you're gonna feel all the time, at your house, at work. Think about how draining it is to go to those parties. Usually you just get bored and you want to leave because you're not expressing yourself, you're not having fun. People are not even having fun with you either because they're just like, who's this guy? He's just talking about boring shit all the time. So you yourself, when you're expressing yourself, like when you're with close friends or people you can really let go with, that's when you have the most fun. And if you're able to do that throughout your life, you'll have a sense of ease. And this is something that takes practice. It's going to take time. It's not going to just happen in an hour. But really, things can get better or they can get worse. You can get better at expressing yourself and telling people what you really think and how you feel. Or you could just become cold, jaded. It's really up to you. Time moves forward. Life grows. It's just a matter of will you grow with it.